We're here at the Slovakia Ring for the second round of the Touring Car Endurance Series 2016, the Hankook 24H Slovakia Ring.
We're in Slovakia, a country bordering Austria, Hungary, Ukraine, Poland and the Czech Republic. Its capital is called Bratislava. Only since 1919 though. Before that it carried the name of Prešporok. The city is known for its Nový Most bridge with the UFO and the Bratislavgrad. It's not far from here on the Slovakia Ring where we are for the 24 hours of Slovakia. This is the Slovakia Ring with the grid getting ready for the Hankook 24 Hours of Slovakia, an endurance race, part of the FIA approved Touring Car Endurance Series.
This year we launched the Touring Car Endurance Series as an endurance series aiming at touring cars, as the name says. And we allow only touring cars and GTs up to GT4s to participate in this series.
We've done a fair bit of the Crovantic series. And this was a new track, and because our car is suited to this class, so yeah, we said we were going to come along to this one and do the 24-hour.
I like it. I did Silverstone with them, and very professional. I like the way they pick out circuits I've never been, so this is the first time we're here. I like it. Very good, very professional, and a very nice atmosphere.
The 24-hour Silverstone, which have been very successful for us. We spread the news and talked to many drivers and convinced them to start here.
The day before the race, the qualification was held.
I only did a few laps in free practice, so first I had a few laps to go to learn the track. Then new tires. On my third lap I put the time, and yeah, that was it. We ended up on the first place, so I'm happy.
The other car sharing the starting row is the local team ARC Bratislava.
We run a lot of 24-hour race, and we know that qualification is not that very important for 24 hours. That's like standard time. If maybe we can try some fight, but I think second position is very good. It's first line, and for us it's okay.
The field is divided in several classes. Leader in the Cup 1 class is Speed Lover from Belgium.
Well, we are in first position in the category Cup, and my teammate is one of the best drivers in Spain. He's really winner of 2 Spanish championships with me.
First in the A2 class is Presenza.eu Racing Team Clio with the always neatly suited Luigi Stanco.
The last lap was a good lap. I make the pole position on the class. And the problem is with the track. It's the first time for me on this track, and I drove yesterday only 30 minutes, and it's a little bit difficult track for me.
In the diesel class, 195 of Red Camel Jordans leaked some liquid in the pit box.
It was water, so we had to change. We did some checks up in the night and put in a new radiator. I hope we can finish it. That's our goal at this moment. We are not a lot of cars in the diesel class, so we hope for a podium in the diesel class.
They do, however, have their doubts, and they build in some extra security.
Well, I was entered on the car 195, that's the Seat Leon Super Coupe diesel. But since we have temperature problems and we think the car is not going to last the whole race, we asked the organization to be able to drive on 2 cars, which is the Golf, and they agreed with that. So actually there are 3 drivers racing on 2 cars. And the nice thing is that I'm competing against myself because I'm competing out a sister car.
And also the Austrian team Winkler Tuning had to cope with issues before the start.
We had a problem with the cage tank. Yeah. One pump doesn't work. And we changed the pump and now it's work.
It's 2 o'clock and it's time to start 24 hours of racing, 24 hours of action and 24 hours of fun.
Yeah, that's the important thing, to have fun.
And the lights are off and the field rushes into the first corners. In the back of the field we can see the yellow 195 Seat Leon already gaining some positions.
I had a very good start. I overtook 2 cars before the first corner. It was very, very good. In the first half lap was very good. The first few laps were very nice, very nice.
The top 5 is already creating a small gap after the first corners. The current number 3, NKPP Racing, tries to take over second place from ARC Bratislava. Meanwhile, there are some problems for the diesel-powered Volkswagen.
I had a pretty good start, but I got a bit of a mess up with another participant. So I had to, in the first lap, spun the car to avoid an accident. Because I was on his left and he didn't see me. So I went all the way left off the track, went into the gravel bed and spun and had to come back. So just to avoid an accident in the first lap. We were very lucky not to have any damage. I think I just ruined the tires. The car ran fine afterwards, so no problem.
At the top of the field, it's the 303 of Red Camel Jordans in the lead, followed by the 125 of NKPP Racing, who just took over second place. And whilst in the Cup 1 class, it's the 151 and the 109 fighting for the class lead. ARC Bratislava is losing their third place to the number 117 of Saxon Racing. And it's not before long before the overall lead is contested as well.
At the beginning I had a little gap to NKPP. After a few laps I started to save my tires more and more. And I saw that they were pushing, so they were close. One time they overtook me in corner 1, turn 1. After turn 1 I overtook them back on the straight and I made a little gap again.
Not as fast as in the first couple of laps. The Seat Leon of Red Camel Jordans.nl is having some technical issues.
We had an issue with temperatures, and it started after 5 laps. The cooling temperature go up too high, and it was even in the right corners it goes up, and in the left corners the temperatures went down. But after 5-6 laps I had to come in, and the guys had a look, and all the water was from the reservoir was gone, so the temperatures were too high in the engine. Then we tried to fill it up again. I drove a little bit slower, then the temperatures went down, but not enough. So then I came in. We don't go back on track. We have an issue with the cylinder head is broken, or the gas gasket is gone. We don't know exactly what it is, and we have no time and no spare parts for that.
Sadly, the 195 had to retire. Luckily, the drivers were also entered in the 197 diesel-powered Volkswagen, so they could continue racing. Another car with issues is the 123 BMW of K&S Motorsport.
Yesterday we had a problem with our gearbox. So last night we was up until 3 o'clock this morning changing the gearbox over, and unfortunately one of the seals in the gearbox got crushed, and then when we went out this morning for the race, the gearbox oil was coming through and getting onto the clutch, and the clutch started slipping. So he reported it was slipping, so we brought it back in. We didn't realise it was the oil getting in. We tried something else, sent him out, and when he come back in, all the oil had come out. We realised, right, we need to get the gearbox out.
After the first stint, prolonged as long as possible, the drivers come in for a change of drivers and tyres. And of course, some need more attention than others. After the pit stop, the new drivers proceed to the petrol station. But things can still go wrong there. The 303 and the 125 are battling for the lead on the track, but the 303 loses precious time during refueling.
The tank top is drained. He was not good. You cannot push it in. Dus he was going out. Pushing. And then here going in. And then we're gonna go.
The 303 leaves the fuel station just ahead of their main competitor. After 2 hours of racing, the number 303 Red Camel Jordans.nl car just managed to keep the lead ahead of NKPP Racing number 125. Only 4 seconds separating the two Dutch teams. Local team ARC Bratislava, that races in a Seat prepared by Ferry Monster Autosport, holds third. In the D1 class, it's the Volkswagen Golf of Team Diesel Power that's leading. The main competitor, the 190 of Winkler Tuning, is currently in the pits. Third in class is still the 195 Seat Leon of Red Camel Jordans. The Belgian team Speed Lover is living up to its name. It's leading the Cup 1 class with the BMW number 153. Second in class is the 151 of Zorg Rennsport. 2 laps down is the 109 of RH Race Engineering. There's still 22 hours of racing to go in the Dunajska Streda district of Slovakia. This is the Hankook 24H of Slovakia, part of the Touring Car Endurance Series. The host of this event is the Slovakia Ring, a location that has been deemed to be perfect for this series.
We went for the Slovakia Ring because it's a quite new circuit. It's from 2009. Has modern facilities, it's in an excellent state, and next to that the Slovakia Ring is a really challenging track.
The track is host to several sprint series.
With international races we started already in 2010 with FIA Central Zone, and with first amazing international race we started in 2013. It was WTCC, and then each year we had for example ADAC GT Masters, Blancpain GT Sprint, and a lot of another very beautiful events.
And the circuit has several layouts to choose from.
We built 7 layouts, and this race circuit is really very fast and very technical.
And fast and technical is something that the drivers already noticed.
Beautiful track, I love it. It's nice, it's very compact, very technical corners, very wide. I like it, really nice.
It's 5.9 kilometers. It's very good distance. It's a technical track, and also is a very funny track because have up and downs areas, and is very good.
It's not easy to learn, but very nice track, fast, and on the other side very tricky in the slow corners.
Good news for those who like this first 24 hours endurance race on the track. There's another 24 hours race planned as well.
We'll start with the second 24 hours on the 30 June. 30 June with 24 hours bicycle race. This race is already in the calendar, UCI calendar, and we're expecting approximately 500 races.
But for now we return to the motorized 24-hour series. The number 123 BMW of K&S Motorsport has finally arrived on the track after some extensive work been done.
Took the gearbox out, fitted a new seal, fitted it back in, and an hour later we're sending it back out again.
So are there any chances left for them?
I don't wish other people any bad luck, but it may gain us. If we have problems, they have problems. It could even it back out again. It's a long race, 24 hours.
Most teams have 4 or even 5 drivers sharing a car. But there is one team that has taken on this challenge with a minimum amount of drivers.
This is a family thing. We want to do it only with 2 drivers. That's our personal fight. We are doing stints of 2 hours each, and in the rest you can drink something, sleep a little bit, and then you have to go into the car again, and
During her stint, Tanya was called to the pit lane as some of the bodywork of the car was stuck under it.
It was a part of the diffuser from the car, and it happened just in one of the first laps, we don't know.
In the meantime, the lead has been taken over by the Slovakian team of ARC Bratislava, who have created a small lead over the numbers 303 and 125, who are in the same lap pursuing the lead. Swiss team Diesel Power is leading in the D1 diesel class, but it runs into difficulties.
It looked like the tank was empty, but was actually impossible. So I did go in, get some extra gas, and then after half an hour I lost power, and the tank was empty again. And now we found out that it was impossible to get a lot of gas in it, or diesel in this case.
Not only fuel is of the essence, good tires are just as important.
Gijs Besser lost control of the car in turn 13, which is the last turn before the straight. He already did an hour and a half on his tires, so they were completely worn out, and that is why he slipped off track and only lost 15 seconds, which wasn't too bad. But yeah, that's how it goes.
While Gijs returns from his off-road excursion, he keeps a watchful eye on the oncoming BMW 123.
Sun's come up a bit now, it's a bit bright in the eyes, just tilt the visor down a bit, crack on really, just carry on. Quite warm in the car. Team's done a great job on the car all weekend. We had a few issues in the beginning, but now it's nicely sorted. I think the car feels good, balanced. Just look forward to just being there at the end, hopefully.
During the whole 24 hours of this Hankook Touring Car Endurance Series, there's also a lot of action in the pit lane. The diesel power car is on its way again.
I was approaching T3 and there were no brakes. Well, that's a 200 kilometre approach, per hour approach, and so it was a bit scary, yes. But it was okay. I managed to pull up before the gravel and got it back to the pits, where we replaced the rear cylinder in about 10 minutes, which is very good.
It's really fine to drive here. That's my first day on this track, so I must look at my performance, but it's going on, and I will look at the next stint, and then I will make a better time.
After 5 hours of racing, it's ARC Bratislava by Ferry Monster Autosport, which is leading the field as well as the TCR class. Second overall is NKPP Racing. Their number 125 Seat Cup passed the 303 of Red Camel Jordans, and in fourth place it's the Saxon Motorsport 117. They're also the fourth entrant in the TCR class. In the A2 class it's Presenza.eu Racing, Team Clio, that is dominating the class at this point in the race. They hold first and second with 212 and 112 cars respectively, with 2 laps in between. The Scantac Racing by Zork Rennsport number 175 has 13 laps to catch up to gain a spot higher than its current number 3. Hankook is a proud sponsor of the Touring Car Endurance Series, just as it is sponsoring the 24-hour series. And there appears to be a difference between these two endurance series for the official tire supplier.
Here we have the maximum, the biggest class is the TCR class, which is from my point of view a very interesting class. We have a lot of different car manufacturers here. We have front wheel driven cars with more than 330 horsepower, which is really stressful for the tire, but this is also a kind of challenge for us to show our performance on this category of cars. The TCES series is a new series started from this year on, but I expect a lot more cars, much more interest and a much more bigger grid for the next year seasons.
Tire-wise, this Slovakian track is different from, for instance, Dubai.
Dubai track surface is very smooth. Compared to here, it's very rough surface, so it means it's much more stress for the tires. But finally, we bring our engineers, the teams bring their car engineers. They're working together to find the right setup for every team.
Slovakia is a new country for both Creventic organized endurance series, but not so much for Hankook.
Now we are in Slovakia, in a really nice Slovakia racetrack. The production place is for all our race tires as Korea. We have one big factory in Korea where we produce only race tires, but just around the corner here from Slovakia in Hungary, we have one of our big factories for regular passenger tires. We have one in Hungary, we have 3 in Korea, we have 3 in China, we have one big factory in Indonesia, we are building now another one in America, so that means we are a global player, therefore we sell our products actually in more than 180 countries all around the world.
On its outlap, the 125 of NKPP Racing is on the tail of race leader ARC Bratislava, but the Slovakian team runs off the track and loses its lead to the Dutch competitor. However, the 134 stays close on their tail. In the meanwhile, the sun is setting over the Slovakian landscape and the floodlights are switched on at the circuit. Even though there are light poles everywhere all over the place, the organization decided to switch most of them off.
After first training was a decision only for 2 corners. So I guess it is better for the teams because only with floodlight in 2 corners they could really enjoy night race. I tried this after this training on my bicycle at 10:30, and I have to say it was a really good decision from the promoter.
So what are the expectations for the night?
I've done a couple of 24-hour races before, so I find driving at night okay. I know some people struggle, but I've done it before and it's different. You've just got to have specific marker posts.
Drivers and teams have a long night ahead of them. However, there are more who need to be awake for quite some hours to come.
We are setting up the entire refueling area for the teams. The mechanics need to refuel themselves. But we also have to thank the marshals of Slovakia Ring for their very proactive work and in helping us to last through the night.
The current leader is still the 125 of NKPP Racing, but with such fierce competition from the other teams in the TCR class and racing identical cars, what makes them the fastest car out there?
Our drivers did just good lap times, and especially we did a very long stint. Until now we managed to do stints of roughly 1 hour and 50 minutes. So we got the most out of our tires and fuel, and the maximum driving time, which is 2 hours per driver. So that's why I said we're doing very long stints, and the pit stops were great. Just a little bit faster than our competitors, so that is why we managed to grab the lead.
The 197 diesel power car is back into the pit.
I think I blew the engine, but that was not the case. I suddenly lost power on the straight. Came into the pit box, and the oil temperature was okay, the water temperature was okay. I had pressure in my turbo, but I didn't have any power. So I got it rolling to the pits, and we're not checking it now, but it just started again, but we're still looking into that. I think we can finish the race. I think we can still be second in the class and be even close to the top 10.
Unfortunately, it turned out that their issues were such that they could not return to the track. In the meantime, the Slovakian team of ARC Bratislava is back in the lead.
You know, this is our track from my country. I know this track, and it's so fast track. There's no problem to overtake. But first time I'm driving at night, and what is the problem that in some place in one corner is the car is going opposite side, and we took together opposite side, and the light is from another car, and I don't know which is the problem. If it's somebody spin before me or something, some problem, and you know it's difficult, but I like racing and it's nice.
I just did the last stint. Had a bit of an excursion across the grass because our lights aren't really as good as they could be, but the car's going well. Not really quick enough to catch the other three in the class, but the car's running well and we're doing the best we can with what we've got.
And the overall top 3 is identical to 4 hours ago. It's Red Camel Jordan's Dottenel that holds third place overall. NKPP Racing is second, and the Slovakian team of ARC Bratislava is leading in their number 134. The Cup 1 class sees Sark Rennsport in the 151 BMW leading the class. The team is also servicing the BMW Speed Lover, who are currently in second. RH Race Engineering have encountered some problems with their Seat 109 and are trailing quite a bit behind in third. The A2 class is still for the Renaults 212 and 112 of Presenza.eu Racing Team Clio. Third in the A2 class is the Clio of Scantec Racing. With the cars only seconds apart in classes, there is still more excitement to come. In the same lap as the current leader is the 125 of NKPP Racing. One of the reasons they're doing so well is the fast pit stops, but also the fact that they can make long stints.
That's the nice thing about the Cup Racer. It has a different diff maps. So after 1 hour and 5 minutes, I changed my diff to position 2. Then it gets less power on the front wheels, and then you can make a longer stint with the same tires. And it only costs you probably 0.3 of a second per round. But then you win it by staying on the track.
But another team has an even more automated way of altering the car settings whilst racing. The 303 of Red Camel Racing is equipped with a tablet on the dashboard. This tractive system allows the drivers to change the suspension during the race.
You have different setups. You can make it softer and a little bit harder. You can control the pitch and the roll, and that you can all do during racing in the car.
And having a system like this has its advantages.
It's really a big advantage compared to a traditional classic one, because especially, you know, we are in endurance racing and weather conditions can change, and there's the big advantage of it, because, you know, you can easily in the car during the driving you can adjust the settings, and especially in rain you can go softener, and when it dries up you go again stiffer. And you know, I'm lucky that I can drive a car who has that suspension system in it.
So one would think that all the teams would like a system like that.
It's a little bit of a secret. The other teams can buy it as well. As long as they haven't bought it, we have the advantage.
This 151 is currently in the pit box.
On the last pit stop, we recognized oil leak in the back of the car, and then we found out that it must be the differential cooler. So we organized and planned everything for a change of this cooler on the next regular stop.
So how do you know what item is causing the issue?
We smelled on the oil that we had on the back of the car, and you know, different oil types have different smell. So we recognized that it couldn't be engine oil or gearbox oil. It must be the differential cooler.
There are exciting battles in each class. So what is the trick to race well?
The most important thing about this track is to keep your tires well. If you push too hard, your tires go off, and then you're losing a lot of time. So you really have to fight to keep your tires good.
Saxon Motorsport races in different endurance series and has been working on the reliability of their car.
We altered the car slightly after Silverstone to hopefully make the turbo more reliable, which hasn't lessened the power, but we haven't got as good a power band, and we think that's costing us time out of the slower corners here. So that's probably the problem. We've tried 2 turbos now. We need to do some more work on it and hopefully get back to where we were before, but with the increased reliability as well.
We are halfway into the race. 12 hours gone and 12 hours to come. In the standings, the TCR class is leading the field. The top 4 are all TCR class Seats. However, the BMWs of the Cup 1 class are close, with only 5 laps to the number 4 of the TCR class. The rest of the top 8 are Renaults from the A2 class. Overall class leader, and therefore also the leader in the TCR class, is ARC Bratislava. They still have a lap over the number 2 in class, but that number 2 is now the 303 Red Camel Jordan's .NL car. They gained a lap over the 125 of NKPP Racing. The 1 class leads with the Austrian Team Winkler tuning. Second in class are Diesel Power 197, and the 195 of Red Camel Jordan's is in third. The paddock is free for the spectators to visit during the night and during the day. In the daytime, there was also a chance to get fresh orange juice, but it wasn't really from a local vendor.
I'm not from around the corner, no. I've travelled a long way because I believe we can bring something to all of the events going forward, right through from Paul Ricard in south of France to Barcelona, to further on into Czech Republic and maybe Silverstone and beyond.
Peter is making sure he can serve the best orange juice.
The best oranges are grown around the corner in Spain, in Valencia, and in Italy as well. So we've sourced our oranges from locally around the area in Europe this time around. In Australia, we have many events like this, and it's very successful. People are enjoying this cold-pressed orange juice right around the Gold Coast where I'm from, and Australia as a whole. And I worked with Creventic and 24H Series before, catering for teams at different events, and realised there was a bit of a hole in the market. There wasn't an opportunity for people to enjoy fresh juice at the track. It's good for the drivers, for their concentration, vitamin C, make sure everybody has a fantastic race, and really try and look after all the public too.
His first appearance was quite successful.
I did. I had a fantastic response. We've sold nearly 200 kilos of oranges in the last 2 days, and we've really enjoyed being here and looking after the public, and there's and the crew and drivers that were here as well, and Creventic staff as well. That's been very well received. We're very happy.
the fresh juice bar, but at night they closed shop and took a break. Not so for the drivers. Some could go for a short sleep, but others were entered to drive on 2 different cars and couldn't afford to go for a long rest. One of them is Stefan Tanner. He is entered in the Renault Clio Cup 3 number 112 and the slightly newer Renault Clio Cup 4 car 212.
In the night was for me difficult. We drive with 2 cars and this is very hard.
So what is the real difficulty at night?
I think it's very hard to drive fast and the brake points for me is in the night, auto brake points and in now, and I see all drivers have a little bit problems with the brakes.
The race is a harmony of machine, drivers and technicians. A dance that lasts the full 24 hours. But sometimes this dance misses a pace and goes wrong. We're deep into the night when the first code 60 of the race is given. As all marshals posts are lit out clearly, the competitors have no problem seeing the purple flag.
We were a leader in the class for a very long time. In the night, the car lost in turn number 2 a bit of the line and went too wide in the exit of the corner and came off the ideal line, and so the back had the car had some oversteering. The back turned around and he moved straight to the right side into the barrier. The complete front is damaged. All radiators, suspension, and the left rear side also damaged. Also the axle. The frame in front is a bit turned, so there's no possibility to repair that here.
And what is the situation for the unfortunate driver?
The driver was Siegfried Kustas, Austrian guy who already drove here. He is well. He had no injuries or something, and didn't even have to go to a medical center, so he's fine.
The dawn is breaking early over the Slovakian landscape, and only 4 o'clock in the morning and the sun is already heralding the new day. The grid is not as packed as during the sister races of the 24-hour series powered by Hankook, and this makes it a different race for the drivers too.
I just think it's a slightly different race, really. I mean, there's less traffic, so you can kind of just look after yourself and just kind of try and race the track a bit more, really. You know, you're not trying to, you're not having cars overtake you or trying to have to overtake slower cars every lap. So in that sense, it's quite nice to be able to put 2, 3, 4 kind of laps together and get some consistent times.
Even with the best drivers, it still might be down to a technical difficulty.
We have a problem with the battery, then stay on the race, and with the safety car he bring back, and yes, a cable was broken, and then was the battery, the no doors was, and no battery, no voltage. We repaired this and it's go.
With the sunshine now gracing this second round of the Touring Car Endurance Series powered by Hankook, we take a look at the standings with just a quarter of the race to go. After 18 hours, ARC Bratislava has not managed to create a gap larger than 1 lap. The Red Camel Jordan's number 303 is keeping the Slovakian team on their toes. Also, NKPP Racing is a close contender with only 3 laps from the lead. The Belgian and Spanish pilots of Team Speedlover are still enjoying a comfortable lead in the Cup 1 class. Second in that class is RH Race Engineering. BMW of K&S Motorsport is third. Winkler Tuning BMW is going to win the D1 class, with Diesel Power and Red Camel Jordans now retired and in the pits, leaving the number 2 and 3 of the class without a championship point. Next up, the last 6 hours of racing in the Hankook 24 Hours of Slovakia. One of the partners of the Touring Car Endurance Series is motorsportinsurance.com, a company that supplies an insurance, much like the one you have on your own car.
It's basically the same system. You insure a certain value of the car. So if you have a car of 50,000 euros, you insure maybe 30 because that's the amount of damage you can make that you insure. And if something happens with your car, you give us the details of the damage and we do the payout.
What differs in motorsport is that there is no third-party liability. Therefore, you are responsible for any damage on your own car, regardless of who's to blame. An insurance, therefore, makes even more sense.
This is an endurance series, so you have different drivers on a car. So as a team, you want to be secured that you get the payout of your driver. So you have the budget is in front of the race already taken care of. So you can say, okay, the excess is maybe 5,000 euros. You ask the drivers a deposit of 5,000 euros. Then you know as a team, you always get your money if the car is broken down. Sometimes you see in race series halfway people getting out or teams not paid because the car is too much damaged. And if it's too much damage, the driver lost a part of his budget and then in the end they stop.
With at least half the field insured, it's good to know that none of them have to bow out of the series due to excess damages. The Hankook 24H of Slovakia has only a few hours to go, with the action on track and in the pit lane. Pit crews are ready and waiting for their cars to come in, but not everybody would expect a bucket of ice being part of the equipment that is ready for change. The ice is not really for the car, but for the driver's cool suit.
Yeah, so we're running some cool suits. You can kind of see here, it just runs the water around, just helps to keep us nice and cool, especially when we race places like Barcelona and gets up into the mid-30s. It's definitely needed, and though it's not that hot here today, it's still really useful just to have. We've got ice in the back, and that just keeps the water cool, and then it just circulates through, really. We've got a dial on the dash as well, so you can have it as cold as you want, really. It's really useful. This is how it plugs in, really. So the plumbing into the back. It's a kind of quick release, just little device, this thing. So it's really useful. Doesn't cost us any time, and it's really beneficial when it's hot. So really good.
And another cool driver has taken the wheel of the 117 BMW to return to this challenging track.
We have a lot of sharp turns, but also quite some long runways. We are looking into a bit of trouble for brakes and tires, but well, it's part of the game in a way. It's the sport, and we can see how teams will react to this. How can they adjust their tactics in order to match also the high use, the high depreciation of brake pads?
When you have a lot of high-speed areas and then hard braking, then the whole braking system heats up, and especially when you have not long straights where the braking can cool down, so that you more or less every 500 meters have to use them. Let's say half of the track is very stressful for the brakes, and then half they can relax a little bit.
Team ARC Bratislava seems to have a comfortable lead.
It's about not making mistakes, about stable lap times and no mistakes during pit stops.
There are teams who keep racing a family affair, like Miro and Mataj Konopka of the 134 Seat of ARC Bratislava.
Father and son were trying to race for a few years now. My father has also many experiences, so he's also teaching me, and hopefully we're gonna race like this also next year. And also with Ivo Breukers and his son, we race also with Ivo in other races such as 24 Hours Barcelona, so we all know each other, so it's pretty cool.
So let's take a look at the standings 3 hours before we finally cross the finish line. With 508 laps down, it means that over 3,000 kilometers have been raced up to this point. Still leading the overall field and therefore also leading in the TCR class is the father and son combination in Team ARC Bratislava. They still hold the 1 lap lead over the father and son team of Red Camel Jordans.nl. Third in class are NKPP Motorsport, who actually have the brothers Kooten being joint team manager. In the A2 class, it's still a battle between the two Presenza.eu Racing Team Clio's. The number 175 of Scantec Racing by Soccer Endsport is lagging 12 laps and needs a mishap in the Presenza Clio's to be able to move up from third.
We can really see that people are highly enthusiastic. We also cannot thank our customers enough for making this event happen with us.
Cavantic done another fantastic job organising a great event. It's a pity that there wasn't more cars here, obviously. They've missed out. It's been really good. It's a fantastic venue. They've got every facility you could think of. It's great.
Yeah, the event's really good. This is the first time I've done one of these events, and it's the first time I've raced with this team. So it was a new car, new team, new circuit for me. So it's been really enjoyable.
The event is wonderful, and we hope we stay by the next race also.
Oh, it's awesome track, brilliant. Worth the 1,000-mile drive, for sure.
We plan to extend the TCES series next year to a few more races. We already now can see the big potential lying in touring car endurance racing, and we see a good chances for the future to make this series grow.
It is nearly time to reap what has been sown over the last 21 hours. Class leaders look forward to continue their lead till the end.
The car feels fine, and I hope we will win this race in the class.
We are first of the class. We were first quite from the beginning, and then unfortunately for our competitor, they had a crash, and we took a lot of laps.
Red Camel Jordans.nl is continuing to make good stints and good lap times. But when they finally take over the lead, it's for a reason out of their own control.
There was a collision with one of the cars which was about 60-70 laps behind us. They were waving blue flags, and he left some space to the last turn. I thought I could go there, I could go for the place, but then he started closing on me. So I started braking a little bit. I touched him, he spun and touched me to the door, and I went to the gravel.
I didn't expect him to be where he was at the time, and he thought that I'd seen him and was going to let him go, but we had a little touch, and unfortunately, there's no big drama, but unfortunately for him, he's lost his number one spot. He's gone back to number two, which isn't really good, but it's, as they say, that's racing.
The BMW of K&S Motorsports is going strong in the Cup 1 class, but it's not as fast as it was before. Were there any issues?
Yeah, it was good. It was just a case of bringing the car home. We've had a lot of problems, so we just want to get to the end of the race. So it was kind of nursing the car back. So it wasn't kind of a flat-out pace, but it was a kind of nursing the car, keeping the revs low, braking early, just keeping the car in one piece for the finish.
Overall leader is Team Red Camel Jordans.nl. However, they need a splash and dash to get enough fuel to reach the finish line. And this reduces their lead dramatically.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's unbelievable because you race for 24 hours and the gaps are closing, and sometimes you have a big gap. But in the end, it is only 4 seconds, and it's completely crazy.
With only a couple of minutes to go, it's quite exciting to see who will win this race.
I think they will win because our tires are completely gone and they are a little bit quicker. So unless they get another technical problem, I think they will win.
Rick Brokers was right. ARC Bratislava managed to overtake them. In the last rounds of the race, the local team racing under the Dutch flag of their service team of Ferry Monster Autosport extends their lead, and after 24 hours of racing, they finally take the well-deserved checkered flag. And what a race this was! 24 hours of racing was not enough to create even a lap difference between the number 1 and 2.
No, it was good. It was really clean, and we have some problems with electronics, so I have to sometimes restart the switches, but it was okay. They have just used the splash and dash. They don't have enough fuel to end the race, so we have some advantage.
We knew we wouldn't make it without refilling, and this was one of the biggest issue, the gap what we nicely got between us and the second position. was eaten at that moment, and I tried to follow and hoping for a mistake, but they didn't make a mistake.
Also, NKPP Racing are pleased with their third place.
It's too much. It's very close. 1, 2, 3, very close. One round between it. The other guys, I think 20 seconds. So it's very close after 24 hours. It was a tough competition, and this is what it is.
So the overall standings are quite clear. It's Team ARC Bratislava, powered by Ferry Monster Autosport, whose local knowledge, but also some of the very good team racing, clinched the overall win. The Red Camel Jordansdottir team car number 303 is second overall, and third is NKPP Racing with Baskuten Racing. The top three in the TCR class is identical to the overall podium. In the Cup 1 class, the comfortable lead for Speed Lover 153. In the A2 class, Presenza EU Racing Team Clio number 112 finished first. In the D1 class, a clear victory for the Winkler Tuning 190.
Up next in the 24-hour series is the Hankook 24H SLOVAKIA in Le Castellet in the south of France. The next round for the Touring Car Endurance Series will be the end of September, the Hankook 12H Meppen in Germany.
After a successful first round in Silverstone and this round in Slovakia, it's proven that this endurance series for touring cars has all the elements for a good racing series. It's highly likely that the last round on the 23rd and 24th of September will attract an even larger number of cars. It is still possible to enter, so don't delay. We hope to see you all in Germany for the Hankook 12 Hours of Meppen.